Greetings from Washington, D.C. I'm sorry I'm not able to be there tonight in Miami, my hometown. My mother's also sorry that I'm not able to be there tonight, but I wanted to take the opportunity to thank all of you for your steadfast support for the State of Israel and for everything that all of you do to strengthen the Jewish community in Miami. I know that because I grew up in that community, and I know how strong that community is and how strong its support for Israel is. And we need that support now more than ever, because Israel's facing a series of challenges that we have not faced for many, many decades, and maybe even since the founding of the state. The foremost among those challenges is to prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon. And the thing that I think is most important to understand is that it's not simply about the deal that's going to be put on the table. It's who we're dealing with on the other side of the table. Iran is the worst regime of the 21st century. They murdered hundreds of political dissidents in Iran. They're responsible for the Assad regime in Syria, killing tens of thousands of Syrians. They have snuffed out freedom in Lebanon. They are responsible for the murder of hundreds of American soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. And of course, they call for the annihilation of the one and only Jewish state. So always remember, when you're thinking about this agreement and these negotiations that are coming up, remember not just what's on the table, remember who we're dealing with on the other side of the table. And all the challenges we face, Israel still is committed to achieving an enduring and lasting peace with our Palestinian neighbors. Now, this is very hard. It's a long time, many, many years where we've tried to achieve, many decades where we've tried to achieve peace with the Palestinians. The only way that we can achieve peace with the Palestinians is if the Palestinians are prepared for a mutual compromise. Everyone knows that Israel will have to make very difficult and painful concessions in order to reach a lasting and enduring peace. But the Palestinians are going to have to make concessions as well. They're going to have to recognize that Israel is the Jewish state. Just as they ask us to recognize a nation state for the Palestinians, they will have to recognize in a final peace agreement that Israel is the nation state of the Jewish people. And we are going to need to have security arrangements on the ground that will prevent the West Bank, Judea and Samaria from turning into another Gaza. You know, we withdrew from Lebanon, every square inch of Lebanon. But we didn't get peace. We got an Iranian forward terror base on our northern border. We withdrew from Gaza, every square inch, but we didn't get peace. We got an Iranian forward terror base on our southern border. We can't allow that to happen again. And that's why it's important that in these negotiations, which we're very serious about, that we have both recognition, a recognition of a nation state of the Jewish people, and also security arrangements on the ground that will protect the peace and protect Israel should the peace unravel. In addition to trying to prevent a nuclear-armed Iran, to working as hard as we can to achieve a lasting peace with the Palestinians, Israel will also stand very firmly against the attempts to delegitimize us through a BDS movement that is nothing less than an outrage. It's an outrage because as you look around the world today, you see all of these countries where so many bad things are happening, so many human rights disasters are occurring, and people, particularly in Europe, go to single out the one democracy in the region at a time when academics are in prison or shot for their views. In dozens of countries around the world, an academic organization will single out the Jewish state of Israel, where academics are free to write what they want, to research what they want, to study what they want. They're going to single out Israel for a boycott. This is outrageous. It's anti-Semitic, and it must be treated as such, and it must be wholly rejected. I think you're going to be hearing more about that from the Prime Minister when he comes to Washington in 10 days. He's looking forward to his meeting with President Obama. He's looking forward to speaking at the annual APEC conference, and also speaking more broadly about the great challenges that Israel faces. So we know that in facing those challenges, Israel is not alone. We know that standing by our side are our friends throughout the world, and I know there is no community around the world who is stronger in their support for the state of Israel than the community that I was born and raised in, the community of Miami. So I thank you, members of the Jewish Federation in Miami, for everything you have done for the state of Israel and everything that you will continue to do for the state of Israel. Thank you and good night.